Good morning students. So once again I welcome you all to RKP online classes. This is your English teacher Benu. Now before proceeding further, I would like to discuss few words which were there in the last line. It was commemorative, that means memorial. Something which is done in memory of something, somebody, alright? And there is majestic face. Majestic is which is, I mean, so beautiful, which is magnificent, okay, which is very impressive, right? All right, so let's proceed further. On 19th January, it's January, okay, focus on the pronunciation as well, January. Okay, so on 19 January 2014, the world's oldest tigress disappeared from her area, that was zone 5. Disappeared means she was not there, and she just vanished from there, and nobody could find her in her area. She just disappeared. Nobody was able to find her there. Nobody was able to see her there. Alright, the news shook not only the officials and visitors of Ranthambore, but also Machli's scores of fans across the world. Of course, when somebody is so famous, right, his or her disappearance will shake everything. Shake here means, that means everybody got sad about this thing, and everybody got anxious that what exactly happened to Machli, where exactly did she go, right? So Ranthambore launched a massive hunt. Massive means on a large scale. So the officials at Ranthambore, they started a hunt. They started searching for the tigress. Now 3 weeks passed and there was no sign of her, not even pug marks. So they kept searching for her for 3 weeks, but then they did not find anything, not even the pug marks. Pug marks are the paws, okay, marks of the paws. When they walk, they leave the footprints. So those are called pug marks. Now, with each passing day, hopes of finding her dimmed. Of course, when you know you have been finding about somebody, but then with the passage of time, you start losing hope, right? So the same thing happened with the people who were searching, who had been searching for her. So dimmed means decreased, okay, decreased. So they started losing hope at that time. Had she died untraced? Had she been poached? Had she been killed by another tiger? But one person who refused to give up was Forest Officer Daulat Singh. Now, there were many questions which were popping up in the heads of everybody there, right? And they were thinking of many situations, many possibilities, like if she had been killed by a hunter, or if she had been killed by another tiger, okay? So mixed emotions were there regarding, but one thing was there, that Daulat Singh, okay, Daulat Singh, who was the forest officer, he was not ready to accept that she had been killed, right? He was not ready to accept that thing. Now he combed the forest day and night, confident he would find her. Now, combed the forest. Generally we comb our hair, right? But in this way, when this expression, he combed the forest, that means he every area of the forest was searched, okay, very carefully. He didn't, you know, um, he didn't leave any loose ends there. So one day on day 26, she appeared out of the blue in the Kachiagar fort area, looking well, oblivious of the anxiety she had caused. Now suddenly one day she appears, okay, and she was looking fine, all right, and she was walking in such a way. You can see the word here, oblivious. Oblivious means unaware, okay, unaware of the surroundings, right? So she was completely unaware that, I mean, the kind of anxiety that she had caused, I mean, in India also and internationally as well, right? So everybody was worried about Machli for such a long time. Yes. So a bit of the expression here, out of the blue, it means it is an idiom, okay, out of the blue, and it means when something happens unexpectedly. I mean, you are not expecting that to happen at that time, but it happens. So out of the blue, right? So she had been driven out of her uncanny of her territory and had taken refuge in a small valley. All right, so this was the reason she had disappeared from there. She had been driven out. Driven out means she was forced to move out of the area, okay. She must have a fight with another animal and another tiger, and she was forced to leave the area. So she lived. Refuge means she found a shelter. She lived in a valley, and that she managed to stay alive is proof of her uncanny ability to hunt and incredible zest of life. All right, now when she was driven out of her area, you know, of course it is dangerous when you enter into some other area, but it shows that how astute, how clever hunter was she, and she was so brave that she she was able to survive in those conditions also, right? So it shows the incredible zest for life. Incredible means unbelievable, and zest means energy, enthusiasm, passion. All right. So eventually age caught up with her. Now this expression, age caught up with her, means getting old, okay. So she became old, and eventually means when something happens over a period of time, okay, over a period of time, slowly, okay, something happens, so we use this word eventually. All right, she was not hunting anymore. She was spending long hours in the water, said a forest guard. In nature, she would have starved to death, but the forest department wasn't going to allow it, right? They would let her be in Ranthambore, the place she dominated, but would provide her with tethered animals. Now, of course, now she was getting old. She was not able to hunt for herself. So, in such a scenario, any animal, flesh-eating animal, it would die, right? So she just used to spend many hours in the water, in the lake there. But what did these forest officials do at that time? They provided her with tethered animals. Tethered animals means which were tied there, okay, tied. they used to tie the animals there, and she used to go there and kill them and then feed herself. Okay, so and after a while she retreated and with great dignity lay down and did not wake up. And after some time she retreated means after having the flesh, after feeding upon the animal, she went back and with great dignity means self respect, she laid there and she never woke up. She died. Okay, so that was 18th August 2016. The world mourned her death. Mourned means they expressed sorrow. The whole world expressed the sorrow of losing such a magnificent tigress. Okay, so she was given a traditional Hindu funeral. Funeral is beta when somebody somebody has passed away, and the rituals which are which we perform, that is called funeral. Okay, when they are given the fire. Okay, so at that time, so we know how what rituals are performed in Hindu funeral. The same method, in the same way, I mean the Machli, she was given a Hindu funeral as the same way, the same rituals, everything. And okay, where are we now? All right, she was wrapped in a white linen and her body was decorated with garlands of flowers. So we see in the same way the bodies in Hindu religion, it's done the same way it was done for Machli. So the forest guards carried her stretcher and on their shoulders and stood at attention when she was cremated, when she was given fire, I mean last ritual. Okay, so the forest department of Rajasthan has preserved Machli with taxidermy. Okay, now preserved means to protect something, to conserve something. Okay, now they have protected Machli with taxidermy. Now what is taxidermy? Beta, taxidermy is when you conserve the skin of a dead animal and you stuff it with something and it looks like a real animal. All right, so in this way they have they have conserved Machli. But to go to this extra level and give her an actual true funeral, it's a special moment in conservation history. So I mean the most special thing about here is that an animal being given a Hindu funeral, that itself, it has created a history, right? So I mean, and I just think after knowing all about her and knowing her journey, I just feel whatever respect she was given, she truly deserved it. Don't you think so? Now I'm sure you will Google about Machli now, and let me tell you, you will get the video of that fight also, which happened between Machli and the crocodile. Go watch it. It's worth watching. Thank you so much, Vita. That was all about the lesson. Please go through the lesson. See Machli. You will find her very fascinating. Okay. Thank you so much.